Its machine spirit is angry. We best hurry. Greetings, everyone. I am Sister Lilia, and welcome to my armory. So, we have here my first enginseers. I've been collecting guards since, 2011? Or 2011, but, didn't actually have official enginseers until kind of recently. So, well, these are my first official enginseers. They aren't my first tech priests. My first tech priest is actually the first official one, that is this model from the old Skulls program. I got it second hand, and well, one of these days I'll finish the thing properly. Now I'd have it on a turntable, but currently I don't know where that turntable is. So yes, we have the back detail. And the front. Yes, the older of tech priests that I can find, the oldest one that I've converted that I can find, is this one that I made back in 2016. Good old death models and cultist bits, plus that old sentinel chainsword. But yes, onto the actual official models. So this one had been released, I don't know what year. I would like to, but I don't. And it's not like GW say it on the website. And yeah, interesting story. I originally tried to get hold of one of these not long after I'd started collecting mechanised guard. I went for mechanised because I scratched built my tanks, which meant tanks cost me less than infantry. And I wanted to have a character to repair them. But GW's habit of making things difficult for their stockists and seemingly not prioritising shipping things to them meant that twice that independent stockist never received the order of this model. Of this sculpt on my behalf, and I just never ended up picking it up from a GW store as a result, out of protest, maybe out of the fact that it was kind of cheaper back then to get it at an independent, and then GW decided, you know what, we're just going to shaft the independents on metal models and stuff that we've decided to arbitrarily put an icon on. But yes, let's bring it closer so you can actually... Whoa, I'm slipping into the container I'm sitting on. There we go. Come on, camera. There we go. You can actually see his face. Now, I've attempted to paint his eyes, not successfully. I went over with various paint job, various bits and pieces on the paint job. Come on, thing, I work. And yeah, we've got a lot of nice details. This model served as the reference point for the old Dawn of War enginseer, if I'm not mistaken.
The command post is gone. We can't hold them back much longer. We can't allow the Titan cannon to fall into their hands. Overload the core.
For the Emperor!
For many years, this sculpt and the one with the rectangular-shaped axe head served dutifully as the tech priest enginseers for the Imperial Guard. Then, in November, at the end of November in 2015, GW actually released the new plastic sculpt in what was then a bundle box that came with a Lehman Russ with the Tank Commander upgrade and the new Tech Priest, which we have right here. This Tech Priest would eventually go on to be released in June the following year as a standalone model. And yeah, I've attempted to do a decent paint job on this model. In terms of modifications I've had to do to it, to actually keep the servo skull up the top there, I actually had to replace the plastic wire hose thing there with guitar wire because it just was too fragile and it snapped off, which was a nuisance because just having to replace bits off models because they don't survive transportation is frustrating. And even if I'd had this thing in a padded foam case, it probably still would have broken. I mean, look at the little top antenna off the servo scale there. That's just not wanting to stay on permanently. I've had to reglue it once already. But yeah, the actual tech priest itself looks really decent. It's a decent update of the sculpt. I'm sad it took the Scutari coming out for Mechanicus for a stack. I'm sad it kind of took the Adeptus Mechanicus coming out as a faction for us to actually get an update to this. But it's a gorgeous model nonetheless. I've attempted to do a bit of highlighting on it. If at some point I might go in and do more weathering and make the robes look more worn, but it's not a priority at this point. I've got it up to where I need it to be. But yeah, what I would like actually is a Tech Priest enginseer that holds the axe one hand in a similar pose to the way we saw them in Dawn of War, all the way that you see the Dominus hold it. Now this is a converted Dominus I've got that makes it not be kind of squatted and shrimped. There's someone that described the pose of them as kind of shrimped. And like in terms of scale, my converted Dominus straight up dwarfs it. Let's just kind of put it in there to just kind of have him look up. And it gets worse when you put the metal one in. Now my Dominus is huge. I'm openly aware of it. Like, it dwarfs Ogren. And Ogren dwarf a lot of things. Ogren used to dwarf Space Marines. It was kind of funny having this Space Marine who thinks he's tough and thinks he's all that, and then Ogren just walks up and one hits him because punching really tough. Mind you, one hitting a Space Marine was pretty hard for guard units, and Ogren are only strength 5. But yeah, in terms of scale, we kind of just. Now, I'm only putting this one here because of the size of the hat. But yeah, you can kind of see the sliding scale of bigger, kind of my various tech priests and their different sizes. And I mean, if I can put it up there without it falling apart on me, let's just move them all forward a bit towards the camera. The Dominus does not fit very well. Yes. I mean, they're still all dwarfed by a knight. Yes, I'm working on knights for February. I won't show the top of it because the top's even less complete. But yeah, like, at least I've got some variety in my army. Like, some games I might run this tech priest, some games I might run this one. I'm probably going to put that one on a spacer base, just so as to kind of make them the same total height. And other games I might just run the old metal one, or I may well run all 3 of them because I think you can have up to 3 of something. Although they might be HQs, so I might not be able to do that. And I mean, having maintenance in your army is always a cool thing anyway. But yeah, with my also having a Scutari, having a Mechanicus army, which this one kind of was not the first model in, but is certainly one of the earlier ones and about the only one that's actually complete. But yeah, as far as my thoughts on them, I'm going to keep the old Skulls program on there because I like the sculpt. But yeah, these 2 are my first official enginseers, and that one's just a tech priest from the old Skulls program. I do actually have some other Skulls program ones floating around, and I'm very tempted to do not quite a restoration video, but like part of me wants to do an eBay miniatures rescue style video, but I don't have the backpack for it, and certainly don't have the spare metal backpack for the other one that had the bolt, it had the weird pistol thing that now would have rules as a Mechanicus pistol that used to be a phosphor pistol. Would I say to get these? Yes. Now, the difference is kind of, that one you'll probably find on eBay for between $20 and $50. Get it for $20 if you can. Don't pay $50, it's not worth it. It's a cool sculpt. It actually has the capacity to be 2-part. Coming with the option of, you could easily swap it out if you had a spare backpack from a Skitari or from another model. You could swap it out if you can't get it with this, because you don't always find it with the cape. So you could swap it out to actually have a Skitari backpack on there. They go for mid-20s these days. They used to be $19 when I got into the hobby. These ones are the most expensive. They're when released. Back when it released for $50, which made it cost basically double the cost of this model. That state has kind of continued, sadly. These models, they're nice. If you're a guard player and you plan on having tanks in your army, it's worth having an enginseer or two. If you're a Mechanicus player, it's worth having an enginseer in your army to supplement the vehicle healing that the Dominus can do, so that you don't have to have all the tanks clumped around the Dominus. There may also be additional rules in the Mechanicus Codex that have enginseers doing their own thing as well. I'm not entirely sure. Because, I don't actually play Mechanicus, so I don't really know the rules for them. I don't play them yet. I've got the PDF there, and I'm aware I've got the index, and I'm aware they got a new codex, but codexes cost a lot of money, and I have to be able to guarantee I'm going to get in at least 10 games for me to justify buying a codex, because I don't want a repeat of the codex from Cadia Stands, where it became invalid way too early on. Mind you, I kind of knew that was coming. It was very likely that we were getting the new edition last year, and sadly that turned out to be the truth. Mind you, 9th had its problems, 10th probably has those same problems, and I'm rambling on endlessly. So, what are your thoughts on these models? By the time I got even this one completed, I did not get in many games at all, so I haven't really had much battlefield experience with official enginseers. Their rules, I believe, have got better. The servo only getting one attack is a detriment. That means you only ever get to do one strength 8 hit, which is kind of sad when you're dealing with, Space Marines. But at the same time, you actually don't want the enginseers to be in combat. You want them to be in the back line healing your vehicles, who will have been taking hits from enemy weapons. Mind you, with vehicles actually getting hull points after 6th edition, it meant that vehicles had a chance of not being destroyed as much. Anyway, what's your experience with enginseers? Have you got any memorable moments of them saving a Bane blade from destruction for it to then win you the game, or some other fun memory? If so, please leave it in the comments. I'd love to hear people's stories of their battlefield experiences. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this kind of little look at the enginseer and some of its iterations. I don't know what to say next. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I will share more in future. Bye.
I hear the machine spirit's voice.